Skip, how important is this game for Revis?
I think it's very important. And I'm going to defend Darrelle, and I know Darrelle, and I like Darrelle, so maybe I'm not objective about this one, but I still see a top 5 corner. I understand he has lost a step. He'd lost a step 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
With his mind, he's still a top 5 corner.
Yeah.
With his physique, he's still a top 5 corner. With his length of arm and his stature and his strength, he's still top 5. He can beat you with his brain as well as what's left of his body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to hang in, and I'm going to say he's going to have a very good game because we have both picked the New York Jets. He better have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
He will be on stage because across the stage will be the guy who talked his way onto the national stage 4 or 5 years ago, Richard Sherman, and then backed it up.
Yes.
But I blasted my man Darrelle Revis whenever that started. We're going back like 5,
13.
almost 6 years. Really, it's about 5 years ago that the spat started.
Right. Correct.
And I said, Darrelle, you're the best corner in football. This is going back to that moment. He stooped to engage with Richard via Twitter. And he stooped to exchange silly, like playground insults with Richard via Twitter when he was the one in the commanding position. He was the best corner, not Richard.
Yes.
Richard was about to become, you could argue, the best corner, or at least one of the top 2 or 3. And I couldn't understand why Darrelle would recognize his existence because he didn't need to at that point. But he did. And I think it cost him psychologically a little bit because, as you well know, having gone up against a lot of corners and DBs, it's such a mental, psychological game. And I think it chipped Darrelle's psyche a little bit that he stooped and then he started to struggle. And he should be supremely confident. I think even today he should be supremely confident. And I liked it that finally he learned enough of a lesson to say, I'm not even going to begin to go there. You guys can talk about Richard. I'm not going to talk about Richard.
Before I get into mine, so you're saying that because he got into a verbal altercation on social media, that's what's causing Darrelle Revis to
No, but
struggle
this
now?
is going back 5 years.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of what a lot of people saw, the end of Darrelle, where he started to lose a little bit of his aura and luster and mystique.
But what did I tell you the number 1 rule of trash talking, what you do? You questions a guy's ability. And Richard Sherman was questioning Revis's ability.
And it hit home with Darrelle.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, Skip. This is not about, and I tell all the time, one of my number 1 saying, you must update your resume weekly. You're talking about what Darrelle Revis used to be. And guys are like, hold on, wait a minute. What he used to be isn't what he is now currently. So we're talking about when he was universally regarded. But this is an older Darrelle Revis. This is a Darrelle Revis that's had ACL surgery. This is a Darrelle Revis that had some major surgeries on his upper extremities.
He did.
So he's not that same guy anymore. And although in his mind he wants to be thought of like that, guys are like, no, bruh. You don't get the rest on when you was universally regarded as the best DB in football. Now here we are 2, 3, 4 years, you're a different guy. They do not hesitate to throw the ball in your direction. Whereas before you might see 1 or 2 passes a game. Now they're coming. Marquise Goodwin, the Buffalo, this like the second series of the game. They're like, go run by Darrelle Revis. They're not afraid of him anymore.
But by the way, just point of order, then what happened the next time? Because maybe a few plays later, they tried it again.
Yeah, he knocked it down.
He beat him to the football.
Yeah, yes,
so he's still capable, but go ahead.
Yes. And the thing is with Sherman, I don't think any of the cornerbacks has it easy in this game. Because, as you mentioned, Decker, he might not play, but Brandon Marshall is no walk in the park for Richard Sherman. And Curse and Baldwin, they're not household names. You don't think of them as the Odell Beckhams or the Julio Joneses and the Antonio Browns, but Doug Baldwin had 14 touchdowns last year. He's a legitimate receiver.
He is.
And so you can't sleep on these guys. And the thing is, the number 1 thing I tell people, you underestimate no one and you respect everyone. If you go into the game with that mindset, the worst mistake I ever made, Skip, is that I was playing a DB, and I thought he was just a guy. And I didn't take him serious because, I'm playing Albert Lewis, I'm playing some of the better DBs, I'm going to be on my game. But this Skip, the dude held me to 1 catch. From that moment on, I don't care if
you speak his name.
No, I'm not speaking to him. I'm not giving
him
any
some
credit.
You're not going to give credit?
Nope.
Acknowledge this poor man.
I'm taking it to my grave.
He had 1 great game in his life, and it was against you.
Well, he don't know it was great because we still won the game.
Okay, all right, you're not going to give it up.
But with that being said, is that you Darrelle Revis is not the same guy, Skip. He's not.
No, I get that.
And everybody sees that. Now that doesn't mean he's not a good corner, because he's still a top flight corner. He still can make his plays. But the fear factor that he once had, where people would go into the game and say, we're working the other side of the field, even though that other side of the field was Cromartie, who was a Pro Bowl, All-Pro player in his own right, he wasn't Darrelle Revis. Now they don't fear that. They're like, Darrelle Revis, okay, fine. And not only are they taking their best receiver and putting him over there, they'll take any guy and put him on Revis' side and throw him the football. We saw what A.J. Green did. A.J. Green ain't no slouch. So let's let record show that crystal clear. But the thing is, you must update your resume week to week, game to game, because what you did yesterday is going to have no bearing on what you're going to do today. Because and see, the thing is, for me, when I was playing a guy that had a name, I'm trying to make a name. So I need to do you in today, bro. Because if I catch 5 passes for a touchdown and maybe 80, 90 yards against Darrelle Revis, I'm on the map now, Skip. I'm on the map. So I'm going to step my game up when I'm playing a guy like a Richard Sherman. I'm playing a guy like Darrelle Revis or Patrick Peterson or Talib and Harris. I got to do that, Skip. But we keep thinking Darrelle in terms of where he was. He's not there anymore.
Okay,
he's still a good corner, Skip.
He's good. I'd want him on my team. That's all I gotta
absolutely.
say.
But he never had the real foot speed, Skip.
No.
But what he did, his technique was impeccable. Yeah. He would make guys, he would turn, he was strong. He had long arm, and what he would do is that he would turn and then he would ride you out of bounds. Yeah. And you're trying to throw the go route on him, and the next thing you know, the ball's out of bounds because he's ridden the receiver. He's hard to stack. He's hard to get in front of and make him in a trail position. But he's not that same guy, Skip.
I got it. All I know for sure about this game is that I'm not saying that Darrelle doesn't get up for every Sunday. I'm going to say he's going to be as up as he can be for this game with that guy
on the side.
That's
absolutely.
Yep.